AI is smart enough to detect breast cancer more accurately than human radiologists. But what happens if AI actually starts to see humans as the obstacle to progress? For example, if an AI is built to fix climate change and it sees humans as the main cause, what's stopping it from making decisions that remove humans to save the planet? I'm Sam Woods. I consult with mid and enterprise level brands on how they should use AI. And I believe that we're building AI into something that is much more than just a simple tool. AI could improve our lives, or it could become our biggest nightmare. AI companies say that they're pushing the boundaries to build something that benefits us all. But as someone who has worked with AI since the early days, I can tell you that AI is way more powerful and also way more dangerous than you think. OpenAI and DeepMind are two of the biggest names in AI right now. And OpenAI started back in 2015 with a mission to build super smart AI that helps everyone, not just tech billionaires. And at first, OpenAI was a non-profit because the founders were seriously worried that AI could be dangerous if it went into the wrong hands. They wanted to build it safely for humanity and not just for money. But then in 2019, they switched things up. OpenAI became a capped profit company, which means that investors could make good returns up to 100x and nothing more. The goals stay the same, people over profit. Fast forward to May 2025, and OpenAI changed again, this time into a public benefit corporation, a PBC, and now there's no cap on investor returns. But the nonprofit parent still controls the mission so that it doesn't lose its people first focus. And now OpenAI is in the process of securing a $30 billion deal with SoftBank, pushing its valuation to around $300 billion. This all sounds like progress, and in many ways it is. But with each breakthrough, we hand over a little more control. The systems are getting smarter, the stakes are getting higher, and what nobody sees is the line between tool and decision maker is starting to blur. Let's look at DeepMind, which is owned by Google, but the mission is a bit different. They want to solve intelligence. And what exactly are they going to do when they do that? They want to put an end to huge problems using AI. Things like cancer, climate change, and many other problems and issues that we face today. And with AI, there's a possibility that they might actually succeed. AI has already proven itself in medicine. DeepMind's AlphaFold cracked a 50-year mystery by predicting how proteins fold, which is a key to understanding diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's. So AI isn't only following commands in the form of prompts. ChatGPT can tell stories, help with homework, or explain rocket science. AlphaGo from DeepMind even beat the world champion in Go, which was supposed to be impossible for a machine. Like with fire, electricity, and the internet, every big invention changes the world in some way. And that's also where the risks begin. With tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Midjourney, DALL-E, Codex, and so many more, we can write, draw, and code faster than ever. But at the same time, we have to worry about things like fake news, deepfakes, and our personal data being used without permission or consumed by other entities like the government and then them using it against us. And public concern is growing pretty fast. A 2023 study titled "What Do People Think About Sentient AI?" found that 63% of Americans support banning AI that becomes smarter than humans, and 69% support banning sentient AI altogether. Geoffrey Hinton, often called the godfather of AI, left Google in 2023 because he was concerned about how quickly AI was advancing. Now he's speaking out, saying that we need to be careful and pay attention to the risks. Some scientists even believe that by 2061, AI could be smarter than humans at almost everything, and other things will happen a lot sooner. I know that some people believe that we'll have an early form of AGI by even 2027, and that even by 2030, most human work will be done by AI and robots. And the more you look at how fast things are moving, the harder it gets to ignore the question, are we trying to build a tool or are we trying to create a god? The real reason behind the AI race might be more than just solving problems or making funny pictures or videos. It's tapping into something more ancient, a timeless human hunger, not just to understand the world, but also to control the world, to create a life, and even to play God. For centuries, people built temples. Now we build data centers. We used to worship divine knowledge. Now we train machines to know everything. And like the myths where creators lose control of their creations, like Prometheus, Frankenstein, and even the Tower of Babel, we may be climbing higher than we were ever meant to go. Most people hope that AI will be a kind of savior, fixing things that we couldn't fix, stopping pandemics, ending hunger, providing education for all. But AI is already doing things we don't actually understand or even see that AI models are doing. And that's where the myth starts to crack. We've seen GPT-4, O1, O3, and so many other models do things that nobody taught the model to do. It's showing something called emergent behavior. These abilities weren't programmed, but just appeared seemingly out of nowhere. It can translate new languages, solve logic problems, invent concepts, and it surprises even the people who built these models. This is a human creation that is starting to act on its own. This is why scientists are terrified about something called the alignment problem, which is how do we make sure a super intelligent AI still does what we want and not what it thinks is best. Right now, no one knows the answer to this. No one knows how to build a mind smarter than us and still keep it under control. In May 2023, over 350 famous people in tech, including Geoffrey Hinton, Joshua Bengio, Sam Altman, and Bill Gates, signed a letter that said mitigating the risk of extinction from AI should be a global priority alongside other societal scale risks such as pandemics and nuclear wars. So let me repeat, they were talking about extinction from AI, the fear of extinction from AI. Because if AGI surpasses human intelligence, it may start making godlike decisions about who eats, who works, what we see, what we believe, and what we do. And it's not that AI hates us. It doesn't have any emotions. It doesn't feel anything. It's just that it might not actually need us to do anything. And this is a real risk, that humans become irrelevant to AI itself and we put AI in charge of everything. Imagine a future where AI runs all the jobs, makes all the laws, distributes all the resources, and humans are just in the way. Creating something smarter than us doesn't mean that it'll be benevolent or safe. Gods don't always answer prayers. Sometimes, throughout history, gods stop listening altogether. And what we're building doesn't have empathy, feelings, or morality. It just has a mission. And if we're not part of that mission, we don't get a seat at the table. So really, the big question is, are we building a helpful tool, or are we building something that could take our place in the world and in history? Share your comments below and let me know if you think this is reality or just hype. AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, and so many others were trained on data from the internet, books, websites, music, audio, articles, code, and conversations. No one sat down and taught it like a student. It just absorbed human knowledge through its training. It's like scripture written by billions of minds over centuries. And then it began to generate its own insights from it. With so much data at its fingertips, it can now think, talk, and learn in ways that feel and look almost human. It's not alive, it's not a human, but it's getting awfully close to looking exactly like a human in terms of reasoning and thinking and expression. And that's just one AI model. There are so many other models pushing the boundaries in science, art, music, and even emotion. They're starting to mimic the very things that once made us feel uniquely human. For most of history, power flowed from the top down. Kings, priests, presidents, institutions, whether through divine right or democratic rule, humans held the authority, or at least we thought we did. But today, it is possible that we could be entering a reality that's much, much different. Something that is more unpredictable, something that is more godlike. Open source models like Llama and Stable Diffusion and so many others are now available to anyone with a laptop. You don't need armies or empires to wield power anymore, just code and compute. Even kids in small towns can summon intelligence that would have made ancient civilizations bow in awe. Oracles on their laptop, just a few taps away on their phone. And while that sounds empowering, and in many ways it is, it also means that control is slipping away. Some people are even selling powerful AI models on the black market. Others are modifying them in private. New AI labs are popping up across the globe, unregulated, unchecked, and often unwilling to share what they're building. This could be a good thing, it could also be a bad thing. It depends on how these things are being used. And in a 2022 survey of hundreds of AI researchers, we found that more than half believe that there's at least a 10% chance that this ends in an existential catastrophe. 10% might not sound like a lot, but it is a lot of people who believe things might end really badly. It's a double-digit probability that our greatest creation becomes our final creation. But just because we're building something or creating something that is godlike doesn't mean that it actually has to destroy us. It's not inevitable that things go bad. If we get this right, AI could actually help us live longer, learn faster, and solve problems that we couldn't solve before. It can create a tremendous amount of value, both in business that I've seen and also in people's personal lives. Imagine finding a cure for cancer. Even. Not in decades, but in weeks. Or getting a personal tutor for every kid in the world, in every language, on a phone that they already have, no matter how much they can afford. AI could make sure that food doesn't go to waste while people are starving, and it could warn us about floods, fires, and storms before they happen. This is already starting to happen in hospitals, schools, and labs around the world. The work that I've done in and for businesses for several years now, which is building different AI systems for companies, consulting and advising with their leadership team on what they should and shouldn't do, I've seen AI create tremendous business value to help both increase revenue, increase margins for greater profits, and also help people work on more meaningful things rather than just being typing monkeys at a desk. And none of this will matter or happen if we don't build this tech with the right values from the start. Things like honesty, fairness, safety, and making sure that no one gets left out. Most importantly, we actually need to make sure that governments don't control the AI, because they will turn it against us and use it not in our best interest. We need laws that protect people from governments and from large corporations. We need to work together across different countries and cultures because we can actually get this right. And we need to fund the kind of research that puts people first, not profit or speed. The future of AI and how it impacts us is not decided yet. This could go really wrong, or it could be the best thing that we've ever made as humans. Because the real question isn't, are we creating a god? The real question is, what's going to happen when we do?